Hi everyone. I would like to introduce myself. My name is Dr. Thidarat Sirdat. I graduate the Institute of International Study Rangkaphan University, Bachelor of Business Administration English programs that my major is International Business. And I graduate Master of Public Administration from National Institute of Development Administration. My major is Fiscal and Financial Management, and I graduate Bachelor of Political Science from Rangkaphan University. My major is Political Science. And the last one, I graduated from PhD Management in Public and Private Sector from Silpakorn University. So I have taught in Nakhon Ratchapal University for 15 years. I teach public finance administration. So that I would like to tell everyone about the course descriptions for these subjects, the concept and theory of public finance, monetary policy, fiscal policy, budget system, and public debt. And after the students study about these chapters, you can know about the objective of public finance administration. For the first one, to use fiscal tool, for example, fiscal policy to achieve the nation core economic and social goals. And the last one, to know how to correct the taxation and how to expand the public expenditures. Because you can know about the outlaws in this concept of the government. The governments can use the fiscal policy like this because the government will have the budgets. The budgets come from the taxations. Taxations, the governments can correct direct tax and indirect tax for public spending. And after the government has the budgets, the governments can provide the services or welfare spending for the Thai people. And the government will find to increase the revenues because if the government has the revenue, they can adjusting the spending of the countries. Maybe they can make the economic growth. They can encourage spending in social welfare, about educations, public health, transportation. So that's very important for Thai people. You can get about the welfare of the country. And next, I would like to tell you about the introduction to public finance and budget administration. At the present era, it's as well recognized fiscal and budgetary management. It is important for national administration like planning, organizing, leading, and controlling, encompassing aspects. For example, revenue planning, so that the government will plan to get the revenue of the countries from the taxation and other. And the government has the revenue already, so we plan to make manage of the public expenditures like education, healthcare, transportation, roads, and other expense to house the people in that countries. And the last one, they can manage about the public debt because when the government has less income, so the government will make a plans to borrowing money within the countries or other countries. As Thailand progresses toward the digital economy, the chain necessitates change varies. So we change about the administrative management, as there may be about the human resource management. That is the most important things in Thailand now because they will manage about a human HRM. And if we have the good human resource management to manage the countries so that they can use the fiscal and budgetary matter to make the policy for Thai's people. Therefore, the study of public finance provides insight to approach for revenue, public expenditure, public debt, monetary policy, and fiscal policy. That is the things to study of the government. In the budgets to administer and allocate social welfare services, for example, education. Maybe the government will give the subsidy to the school and to find a policy to make the projects to improve the skill of the student. In public health, every people in Thailand can get the public health in the hospital. If they are sick, they can go to the hospital. And utility and public works, among other two populants, because the ultimate goal, the last ones, I think the government will give the equalities and fairness of the people, because every peoples and the countries, we can get the equality. Yes, public finance deal with the roles of the governments in the economy. So that the first ones, we can know about the revenues, how the government to get the income from taxation, non-tax revenues, and borrowing. And taxations, the government will can get the taxation from direct tax and indirect tax. For example, income tax, sales tax, property tax, or corporate income tax. And non-tax revenues that they can get about the free license, user charge, tolls, profit from the state-owned enterprises. And the last one, the borrowing. That's the government will not enough budgets to manage the country, so that the government will make a plans to borrowings, or maybe to give loans in countries or outside countries. Maybe in a country, the government will issuing about the government bond, and the people of Thailand can buy the government bonds and to help the governments to make a project for people. And the second, expenditures. So the expenditure is very important, because the governments will provide about the goods and services for the people. Maybe they spend about the salary, utilities, and maintenance for the staff. That is the big budget to do. And the capital expenditures, spending a long-term access. For example, infrastructure, that the government will do the project about building the roads, building the beach, building the school, building the governmental hospital. And the transfers payments to individuals or group, not interaction for goods and services, such as about the social security in Thailand, so welfare subsidy. Because social security, that is very important in Thailand, so because if the foreigners come to Thailand, they would like to get the security of Thailand. And the last one, public debt, that I tell you already. So if the government will not enough money, so that they make a plans to borrow the money from other sources. And the importance of public finance and budget administration. Public finance and budget administrations are necessary to the structural integrity of government administration. They are essential for overcoming limitation in public services, provision, spending necessary things, infrastructure to develop the countries, and the countryside. For example, public utilities, public works, and infrastructure that is needed for Thai people. The field of public finance and budget administration has involved historically reflecting the state central role, and authority in financial management. So therefore, the administration is the key for public sectors and government duty to manage about the budgets for the Thai people. So they can plan to the big budgets and then they can give a policy and to provide public services for Thai people. And the publics to administer and locate social welfare services. For example, education. That is the more important for Thai people. If you would like to develop the countries, education is the most of things to do about the school, higher school or younger school. And the second, the government will give about the public health for Thai people, utility and public works for the Thai people, because the ultimate goal, because they would like the Thai people can get many things in equality and fairness of society. In public finance, deal with the roles of governments in the economy. Three things. The first one, revenue. The government will get the revenue from taxation, non-taxations, and borrowing money from country and other countries. And expenditures. After they can get about the budget, and then they can spend money to do many things. And the last one, public debt, from other countries and outside country. Okay, and so let me see the pictures. The flows of government's revenue and expenditures. As for these charts, you can know about three organization. The first one, household, and the second one, the business, or maybe the private sector, and the last one, the government, because the government is very important when the household from the peoples have income, they can buy many things at a shop and then they can pay tax to the government. The government can have the budgets, and after that they can give the social welfare for Thai people. So for this figure ones that you can know about the economic system, we can have three things: households, the public sectors, and the government sector. Three sectors are important at the organization. So government revenue sources in the circular flow, and government revenue is direct from tax collections, maybe direct tax and indirect tax. For example, in the direct tax, the governments can get the tax form personal income tax, corporate income tax, inheritance tax, property tax, land and building tax, petroleum tax, side tax, and indirect tax. The governments can get more money from indirect tax, from the value added tax, or maybe you can call wax. When the people buy something at the shop, they will pay wax to the shop. Exchange tax, specific business tax, consumption tax based tax, stamp duty, and so they can get money. And the third, original revenue from economic sectors, or maybe they can get from their household The revenue is generous as the public earns net income from work for the business sectors to get the profits from the public sector, and these flow underscore from the government revenues based in sustained by productive capacity and earning of the citizen and enterprise. The roles and functions of government in public administration and finance, so that we can get to know Richard McGrath and McGrath that will explain the government's role of the national administration. The government has a role to manage about the revenue from the taxations, public expenditures, because it impacts the economic system. The purpose of this expenditure is diverse to fulfill the government policy objective. Category into three key functions, maybe as McGrath and words and contemporary Thai scholarly view. The law and function of government is public administration and finance. So we have three key concepts. The first one, the allocation function. The second, distribution function. And the last, the stabilization function. The first one, the allocation function, so it involves limited resources because in Thailand we have limited resources to achieve maximum benefits. To use the limited resources, and the governments can have the regulatory policy to manage about the resource allocation, because public sector is deemed better equipped than private sector, because the public sector will give the social welfare and public goods, and then they can manage for effectively and properly for Thai people. The second, the distribution functions this involves promoting a fair distribution of income and wealth, particularly focusing on marginalized and vulnerable group in society. Or for example, elderly people, so that the government will give the welfare for them. And the last, the stabilization functions as involve the budgetary policy to promote or the stimulus to get a full employment for Thai peoples, maintain the price stability, and to develop about a sustainable economic growth. Since consequently, the community leader is very important because they can develop about the resources at the communities, maybe local wisdom, arts, cultures, architectures. They can promote in the local. This involves organizing educational activity from community members to develop their locality, which in turn and how to create local product and generate income for the community. This is supported by the researcher by the researcher from Morowit Nom Namsap and Tidara Supya. That after we go to the research, we can know about the creative community-based tourism branding in Promodeo community in the Nakhon province. That they found as Promodeo East and Lao Khang ethnic community, the ways in Wat Promodeo. That is, we have the religious, so we have the knowledge in community, so that the community diverse architectures, cultures, and what Promodeo cultural learning centers. They set the learning centers for the people. We specialize in Lao Klang woven fabrics. And then the community also enhanced to Songkran flax palette traditions, because it is the logo for the ethnic group. They can choose this logo for that is in the brands, and the tourist can learn about the center. You can learn about the center in Promodua. And the government's tourism developments and community. The local developments can know about the band logo, that we can see the band logo in Promodua. We can use the flags in the Songkran Festival. And what Promodua has actively emphasized promoting learning amongst local residents by providing knowledge and trainings to enhance their ability to generate increased income of the local people, that they can have the skill to do the very process. And then we can have the QR codes. Many people can scan QR code, and then you can know about the how to do this, the process. There's government finance study, microeconomics, and allocation function. The study examines the government functions in public service provided allocation. The governments will have support or maybe allocate public services to the populations, and economic stabilization. So the government will make the increased aggregate demand. So maybe you can call GDP. If the GDP is high, so that the country will grow. These align with the Constitution of Kingdom of Thailand and 2017, the Equitable Tax Administration. So we can know about the rule or the law to promote the equity. So that the revenue can be used for community development and social reforms. So maybe in Thailand, some area, the social inequality in some areas. So the government will rewind about this problem and track structural reform. There is a need to adjust the tax structure to aid low-income citizens by increasing the focus on direct tax. So we forget on about the direct tax. For example, the government will get the property tax, inheritance tax to boost the national revenue, and personal income tax. That is very important because we have rich people, many rich people in Thailand, so that we can get about the personal income tax. In the fiscal system, does play a crucial role to create economic stability as financial balance, and the fiscal system does involve about allocating budgets, so that we vary about ministry to collective address prevailing economic issue. This is the fiscal systems that carry out economic activities. So with the processes of resource allocation, income distribution, economic stabilization, and promoting economic growth. So it consists of revenue corrections, budgeting and allocation, debt management, and fiscal policy 2. So the fiscal policy 2 that is adjusting from the government revenue and government expenditures. So it up to the economic situation. And so the figures too, so we can know about the public fiscal administration system, because we have the 20-year national strategies, and we have the policy of the Thai government. So if we have the Thai policy already, so we can use the fiscal policy and monetary policy to manage their governments. And so we have the public budget administration, tax and revenues administration, public debt, government cash management, or budgets, funds, revolving funds, supply management, and public assets management. This is government accounting system, information system, audit administration, and administration of audit government, so we operating about a fiscal reporting. After this, after we have the reports to use the budgets. The last one we can evaluations after we use the budgetary. So for this feature that you can know about the public fiscal administration system. So we can connect it about the level of government agency. Maybe the National Budget Administration, Tax and Revenue Administration, Public Debt Management, Treasury Cash Management, Budget Fund Management, Revolving Fund Management, Stockpile Management, State Access Management. And as we can know about the process related to the government accounting. So we have the fiscal information system. So we can show about the administration of performance, auditing, fiscal reporting. So that after we do about the projects, we can do the reports. And then the last one, we can evaluation about as we use the budget is properly. The importance of local finance and decentralizations. But nowadays, the government will have the decentralization to the local government. Like the research from Japanese people, Moshida, tell about the local finance has grown and significance in the power was decentralized to the local administrative organizations. The local governments will responsible to the welfare for the people in that area, such as public health, elderly care, and poor people. So therefore, local revenues to get income from the local government, we can get low income, so that in the developed countries we can get the gains. We can get the gains autonomy through this model for the decentralization. So we can know about the case of Japan and ASEAN. So in Japan's post-war decentralization, after the war, Japan significantly increased decentralization and the local governments. So because as we extend about the local, so we can get about the reorganization. We can make the public health. We can make about the education. So we get a new constitution. And the key challenge for the Japan's because they would like to improve about the economic growth, income disparity, a lack of local administrative capacity, underdevelopment, and they need to implement new national administrative law. And for ASEAN countries, so that we face about the government reforms. As we other countries, we reform about the governments, the law of the local governments to expand about the duty and give the providing the public services from the central governments. In the summary, the study of public financial and budgetary administrations or the public finance is concerned with government revenue generations, public expenditures, public debt, and the use of fiscal policy in national administrations. So we have the challenge for the economy. So the government will find a solution to economic problem. For example, unemployment, poor people, economic recessions, inflations, or maybe as when operating increase in the economy, is directly leads to increased government revenue. And this revenue is direct from taxation, non-tax revenues, and others. So maybe from the tourism. So this sufficient budgetary allocation allows the government to administer the countries, the relieving higher national development and social welfare and inequality reduction. Furthermore, the government has sufficient budget to allocate social welfare to the public equitables indirectly including essential services. For example, education, public health, transportation, security, maintenance, public utility, and facility. That is very important to help about the social inequalities. The revenues measures implementing about the progressive tax rate. So if the governments can get the proper progressive tax rate, they can have more money expenditures, allocating budgets, low incomes, the state welfare cars programs, and to help poor people and low income citizens. The government must address the issue first, preventing for the social gap. Therefore, public fiscal and budgetary administration plays a vital role in promoting economic development, reducing social inequality, and creating better quality of life for citizens, and with fostering stable economic growth and sustainable development. So that in the plans of Thailand, so we have the managed in SDG, Sustainable Development Goal